What's up, guys? Here with another video, and we're here to talk about Sonic Frontiers. Now, a lot of people think that Sonic Frontiers is going to be as long as a game like Zelda Breath of the Wild, and a lot of people may see that in the front of Sonic Frontiers it looks like a barren wasteland. So we're going to talk about one point. The first point we're going to talk about is why Sonic Frontiers is going to probably open like any other open world game you've played before. Let's get into introduction of the mechanics. So the game is going to essentially teach you the mechanics of the open world gameplay, and at the same time it's going to teach you about the combat. It's going to teach you about like what you can find little by little, and that's probably going to take you up to about the first 10 minutes of the game, maybe. And then at the same time, it's going to hold your hand a little bit in exploring, and then at some point it's going to let your hands free, right? Meaning, like any other open world game, after they go through the base tutorials of how to do certain functions in the game world and also as your character, at some point they're going to let all the hands go. You're going to just be playing this game and you can choose what you want to do. What I also noticed is that in some of the gameplay clips, you saw like a mini map at the beginning, sort of like what you see in Fortnite, or if you're playing Warzone, or other open world games, you know, you'll see this marker at the top and you can choose where to go to your objective. It's kind of like a compass. That is going to be huge for identifying things in the game world, obviously, but also with gameplay like this, as you can see with combat, you know, you can choose whether you want to engage in combat at the time or if you want to go straight to the mission or story objective to move the game forward. I'm sure this game is going to be having side missions, so you don't have to worry about that. There's going to be plenty of collectibles and collecting things that probably will have a Super Mario Galaxy kind of feel in a lot of ways, where you ultimately do have to get a certain amount of these collectibles. Maybe it's moons or whatever you got to collect, so you'll be able to move on to the next part of the game. But another thing too is that a lot of people want this to be like another Breath of the Wild moment, but honestly, this is a Sonic open world moment. A game like Sonic Frontiers is going to fundamentally play like a Sonic game. It may take some inspiration from other video games, but obviously even in the traversal is nothing like something like Breath of the Wild. You know, Breath of the Wild, maybe you have a glider. Maybe in Breath of the Wild, you can go down these slopes. You know, there's certain ways, but in this game, it's a little different. Sonic is going to be using the spin ball to go down hills. You can use rails to get to areas you probably couldn't get to before, and higher areas at that. You're using jump pads, which are staples of the Sonic gaming franchise, over and over and over again. Now, another thing we're going to get into is that the freedom this game gives you. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some cyber stages that are bonus stages. And what I mean is that they have nothing to do with the story. But maybe some of the cyberspace stages or levels is going to be required to actually get through the game. Maybe the cyberspace stages or levels are where you have to go to actually be able to, you know, like progress through the game as far as getting these moons and suns or whatever their collectible is, sort of like Mario Galaxy. And maybe you have to explore a little bit to find them in these cyberspace stages. It kind of reminds me of like the Werehog gameplay, where you had to explore the Werehog levels to find enough of these collectibles so you could get to the next level. It's probably going to be the same here. This time Sonic's not in a hub world. We know that Sonic has been played around with hub worlds. The worst, in my opinion, Sonic 06. But if you play games like, you know, Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2, from what I recall from playing it, really didn't have a hub world. The only thing they had was, you know, like a, what would you call it? A chaos world where you could take care of chaos and stuff like that. But other than that, you know, Sonic Adventure 2 didn't have that. It was lacking that. But it was a great story, great game, great gameplay, great mechanics, everything. Story was amazing, okay? Another thing about Sonic Frontiers is that even though we haven't seen, you know, the likes of a hub world since Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic 06, and Sonic Unleashed, and, you know, some argue that Generations had one, but not really. I mean, it was kind of like you run around in this desolate white area until you beat the levels and it brings the color back. But what I noticed too is that with Sonic Frontiers, this game is not treating it like a hub world. Like, there's a lot to do in this world. meaning there's hidden secrets that you can find in this world besides getting collectibles. It's deeper than that. You might find some stages that you normally wouldn't find unless you're exploring the island. You may find like weird secret rings we don't know yet. This game may have collectibles and like cool story collectibles. There are references to past Sonic games. There may be a lot of surprises in here. And it looks like they're taking a note from something like, Tomb Raider, where you got to explore and you might find something you don't know what you're going to find. And it's also Breath of the Wild is kind of cool too. You get this kind of feel like, you're exploring this world and you're going to find secrets. So I'm expecting the same for this. Another thing that we need to touch on a lot, definitely so, is that a lot of people want to compare this Sonic game to past other Melee games like Shadow Hedgehog and stuff like that. They're like, we've seen Melee in the game before, and we've seen like, Werehog, but it's not the same, guys. You get the dodge, you get the parry, you know what I mean? You get to do certain attacks. You can even choose to not engage in battle once again, and that adds a new different freedom to a Sonic game we've never seen before. You can say, I'm going to finish this battle later because maybe I'm going to come back and get some more experience points. Maybe I don't need to defeat these enemies for the story. Maybe I do need to. Maybe you realize, oh wow, I got to go back because I was supposed to defeat that enemy because they had this, and this. And that is going to add something truly engaging to Sonic. And also, I wonder if there's going to be different types of levels. There aren't just cyber stages. And what I mean is you go into an area and maybe it's not like a traditional Sonic level. Maybe it's a type of level where you have to explore, but it's not necessarily on the island. It all depends on how they're going to do this. Here's another one of those collectibles, like I said, in the Melee fight. What I also noticed is that there's going to be a skill tree. So you see this, Sonic is fighting this enemy. They're just breaking down and falling to the floor and things of that nature. Well, I'm guessing that as the game goes on, it'll be easier for you to defeat an enemy. Maybe instead of having to hit the bottom parts of it, because you learned a new skill, you could probably just run on it. Maybe you don't have to use Psyloop. Maybe you use Psyloop a couple times because you upgraded your skill tree high enough that Psyloop can break down 3 sections of this enemy instead of breaking down one at a time. So that's a lot of inventive ways that maybe the skill tree will, make itself useful. In a lot of ways, I think the skill tree is a big deal because it represents that Sonic doesn't have to have all his powers up front. We can unlock a new spin dash that we don't have. Maybe we can unlock a spin dash attack. Maybe we can unlock something of a speed attack or a speed dash that attacks enemies. Or we can dodge parries with a perfect dodge like in Spider-Man PS4. I don't know. We're going to see what the skill tree could do. Maybe when you get enough rings, your boost lasts longer. Stuff like that with the skill tree is going to be really awesome. Another thing too is that as it raises the replayability. We got to understand that this game is going to raise the replayability of Sonic overall. And if the skill tree is going up and up and up and up and up, come on guys. You're going to want to go back and play some of your favorite Cyberspace levels. You're going to want to go back and try your Melee on all these different enemies. The only thing the game has me worried about is the variety of the enemies. But like I said, there's different islands. And there's one island they're talking about, like Chaos Island, that may not even... We don't know. We don't know. Right now, I'm just skeptical. I'm speculating because I'm really excited for this game. Once again, it comes out on my birthday, so I'm excited. But right now, Sonic is in the best space it's ever been. Man, it's coming off 2 successful movies, and it's just looking better than ever, man. Sonic Team is trying something freaking new. For the love of God, we got to respect them for that. They could have chose to not do anything, and they chose to do something new, something bold, something that Sonic has never done before. The biggest fear that I had when I first saw gameplay was like Sonic's turning speed, because Sonic Team never got that right. Man, this time they got it right, bro. The controls for Sonic are tight. Have you seen that EGX demo? It's fire. Trust Sonic Team on this one, bro. This one's going to be a good one, and I'm excited. Anyways, I'm out. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to see more Sonic videos. And support me on Buy Me Coffee down below if you like these videos and stuff like that. That will really help. And once again, thank you so much. And I will see you guys, Bluebirds, in the next one.